had to accept feeling normal, and that raised my anxiety. When I'm around normal people who don't give a fuck about Instagram, I've never been around those people. I've never been around those people. For the last 23 years, I've been around people that come into your life, and they don't come into your life like Mike came into mine. They come into your life with a fucking agenda. You know, so many people were contacting me with an agenda that I couldn't fucking fulfill. I still got a girl now that I love to pieces. I love her to pieces. And she contacts me all the time for advice, and I give her the advice, and it's like, it's still not enough. I cannot help. I'm not there. I'm not there, so I can't help you. You're there. You have to make these decisions upon yourself as a comic. But the real clinker this week, what really made me realize where I was and why I'm so happy and why I'm a different person now is because I had a long overdue conversation with Lee. In fact, we spoke 2 nights in a row for about an hour. And I called him to do one thing. Number one, I apologized to him. And number two, we figured out what was going on. We were enabling each other. You know, Lee couldn't lose a pound. I couldn't lose a pound. What's Lee doing right now? He's down 100 pounds. He's dating a little fucking girl he met. He's going out. He's a complete different. And it took me a while to get it. Like, what is Lee doing? I mean, we talk every other night and stuff like this, but this conversation this week was the first time we were candidly honest with one another. And I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sorry if I'm letting this out. I think we discussed it on the podcast, on the church. Lee was seeing a therapist for a long time. Lee was seeing a therapist. It's none of my business what he was talking to the therapist about. I would never ask him. I would break his balls and say to him, what'd she say to you today, you know? And he would give me little bits and blurbs of what she would say. So I never thought about it then. I thought about the blips and blurbs he told me this week while I was on the phone with him. Lee was miserably unhappy. Miserably unhappy. And I go, Lee, when did you see the change in me? And he goes, I started seeing you not being yourself, and it was after the Netflix special. Because I hadn't worked hard all those years to do a Netflix special that in my eyes I didn't like, because I didn't like the whole thing. I didn't like how it was treated. I didn't like the fucking, how it all went down. My agent made me get a manager to get the fucking thing. And now, a couple of weeks ago, I got a bill from my agent for a commission from a residual check from my special. And I called them up and I go, you got nothing coming to you. You know why you got nothing coming to you? Because you couldn't close. You know, in LA, oh, he's great friends with mine. Well, if you go to a Laker game with a fucking guy, tell him, listen, I need my fucking guy to get a special. No, he made me get a manager, pay him 10% of my fucking money, and then that guy grouped me in with a bunch of fucking mooks into this thing. I ended up shooting it, thank God, with Yamanika and fucking Big J and fucking, you know, Christine, and it ended up working. I mean, I had fun while I was there with Christine and Yamanika and fucking, you know, whoever else was there, the nice white girl, I forget what her name was. I mean, we had a great time as a crew. Brad Williams, we had a great time as a crew. But what was going on, I didn't like. I didn't feel right. I didn't feel it was why I got into stand-up. And that's when my descent started. Like, I didn't even, you know, I started drinking the fucking coffees. I had to, you know, eat, 600 milligrams a day before the podcast just to get through the day. I had to take 2 edibles at night to get on stage. I had to drink 4 fucking espressos to get on stage. I mean, these things were just, it was very fucking disturbing when I look at it now. Last week, I was doing something, and I went outside to check the car, to see my neighbor, and I come back, and there's this big box in front of the house. That was the fucking turning point. I saw this big box in front of my house, and I brought it in. I'm like, I wonder what's in this fucking box. 3 of the prettiest fucking bongs you've ever seen in your life. Beautiful. Beautiful. Little one, a medium one, and we'll be using them. But when I looked at it, I closed the box and I put the box in the garage. When I left LA, I had 2 or 3 beautiful bongs. I gave the $1,000 bong, I gave it to a friend of mine because I wasn't going to leave that there. But the little mule and the big mule, I left under the sink at the old house, and I didn't look back. I don't care if the landlord found it. I don't care if the cleaning lady found it. I left them there, and without knowing, I did a bunch of stuff without knowing. Like I left the bongs there without knowing what it signified. I left the fucking, you know, I went to the Comedy Store, and I really, really said goodbye. I put my hand on the wall, and I said goodbye. I was saying, without consciously knowing, I was saying goodbye to that whole fucking world. I was just saying goodbye. Listen, I smoke pot now. I'm not a pothead anymore. That's a big fucking difference. I was telling Mike, I'm smoking this weed at night, this cactus buds from fucking the ice cream shop. If you get a minute, go get some cactus buds or the regular cactus OG. It's like 35 or 36%. Woo! Because I thought I was going to come back smoking lower end reefer, but I can't find no lower end reefer. So I smoked the CBD weed for a couple weeks just to really bring down. Remember that joint I smoked? I started taking 2 or 3 hits from it to calm me down. It really worked. Cleaned up my lungs a little bit, you know. And now, I mean, that 60 days or whatever I did where I didn't smoke for 30-something days, and then I just started taking one hit, because that's all you're supposed to do with this weed. You're not supposed to be smoking blunts of this shit. You're just wasting fucking weed. No wonder I was going through an 8th in fucking 2 days. I got friends that tell me an 8th lasts them a fucking week. I was going through an 8th in a day and a half. I would buy 4 8s, and I'd be back at the store 2 days later. Just smoking at the office, smoking at my house, you know, whatever, smoking outside, bringing joints to the Comedy Store, and that's great. Listen, I had a lot of fucking fun, but once I moved here, all that shit went away. How did it go away? Did I try to go? What do you think? I went to NA meetings? Hi, my name is Joey. I'm a pot smoker. Remember that idiot that went to fucking celebrity rehab for smoking pot? If you go to a rehab for smoking pot, go shoot yourself. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, I had a friend who went to a rehab for smoking cigarettes. And he went to like 2 rehabs for smoking cigarettes. His parents put him in a rehab for smoking cigarettes. I saw him one day. He's like, I got to smoke a cigarette fucking under the car because they got cameras all over me. I can't smoke fucking cigarettes.